Ninjani. Ninjani. Yo, Izolo, guys. Izolo. We had a live here. We had a live yesterday. Yo, these people, they suspended me. They suspended me. But Ale, they started by limiting traffic to the live. And then they suspended me. Yeah, apparently I'm violating their whatever these things, community guidelines. Uyabona, siyaphila Tabani, siyaphila. All I was doing, I was showing West Africans eating dogs. They eat dogs and humans. That's all I was showing on my screen. I didn't say West Africans are bad people. I didn't do any hate speech or anything. It's just videos, like actual facts, And that's all I was doing. And I was just saying that it's not possible that people came from there to here when there's no actual cultural continuity, no linguistic continuity. Instead, we know who left South Africa. We know our people who left South Africa to go to Mozambique, to go to Zimbabwe, to go to Namibia. We know our people who went to Zambia, Malawi, Angola, even Tanzania. We have people who left South Africa and went to Tanzania. There's evidence everywhere. They know it, we know it. They still know the names of the kings who led them. They know the places they came from here in South Africa. So it's not even a debate, it's not a theory. But these other theories that, you guys came from Congo, Angola, this, that, man. Nah. There's absolutely no scientific reason to believe any of that. Not to say now, as humans generally, we are not, we're not animals, we're all humans ultimately, but dang. I can't tell my people that they come from there, man. So yeah, we were talking about that, and they decided to remove my ability to host live, so they cut short my live that I was hosting yesterday. Apparently it was not didn't agree with their why they built TikTok in the first place. It's just interesting to me because people come here and talk about all sorts of rotten stuff, every day. All sorts of rotten stuff. And they are never suspended or anything like that. Like, I'm literally looking at a video of someone slaughtering a puppy. I am looking at a video of someone from Central West Africa slaughtering a puppy right now as I'm talking to you. They are slaughtering a puppy. And we must keep quiet about that. Aye, guys. No. They don't like me in this app. This app doesn't want me. That's why now I'm hosting a program on the side. Like, I have an independent program that I'm running on the side for people who are interested in learning more about our languages, but mostly for people who wanna do content like this at some point in the future. People wanna do content like this, but most of the people who join the program, I think there's 9 or 10 now. Most of them have deeply personal reasons. It's mostly very personal, and that's one thing I realized. A lot of the people who are even willing to pay for such information, it comes from a personal place for them. It comes from a very personal place. So I respect that because that's how it started for me as well. And I think that is the truest way to, go through the awakening. The awakening cannot be detached from you. It's not something you do to create content. It's not something you do so that you could prove people wrong. You do it purely so that you know who you are, like in the deepest level. Now I wasn't even planning on creating content about these things because I already know that it's rotten out there, you know. Hello guys, Mzimkhulu Kawa. You downloaded the Quora I Lost Question language last night. That's good, my brother. That's good. You must also download Bushman Dictionary by Willem Blick. At least then we can make references when I do my lives. You can go and check some things. But more than that, ne, you must go and learn the old languages of our ancestors. Like, if you can recover the language of Amazizi, go and learn the language of Amazizi. Go and learn the language of Amaxhosa, the old version, different ways of speaking that were used. That is the key. Even these dictionaries are not going to help because what you want, you can't use the Quora dictionary as a primary point of reference. You don't do that. You use your indigenous language as a point of reference. Your indigenous language will connect you to other indigenous languages automatically. So when I learn about our languages, I don't learn from a language that's not mine. And I think most people get confused. They think I'm not learning someone else's language. I'm learning my language here. And because I go deep in my language, then I realize that it's the same as your language and someone else's language. So, yeah, that's a good place to start. That's very good. I see Brother Lima Kara has joined us. Morenak, how are you, my brother? It's been a while.
Morenaka, wena Matsikane, wena motho weneng.
Hey, my brother. You
Wena
know, call Lesotho. They say
Matsikane, Morenaka,
Machekane.
ke a
You know, call
leboha.
Lesotho. They say Machekane.
O Machekane.
In
Ya
Lesotho. In
yangikhumbuza.
Lesotho.
Ehhe.
Yeah, they say
Oh, ke a
Machekane.
ibona jwale.
Yeah,
Ke
they
a
say
ibona.
Machekane. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wena upheka iphemphem ngengcawana. Siyabonga.
Injalo. Sipheka iphemphem ngecawana. Sipheka iqhakuba ngecawana. Sipheka iqhakuba ngecawana.
Okay. No, wena mhlonishwa, you know, to be quite frank and to be honest, Dr. Sandile, when I encountered you and Kuru, I want to say something. Remember, there is a notion and a narrative that, you know, most the click languages, they are extinct. They even show ubani ugogo ngikhohliwe igama lakhe.
Katrina
Uyambona
Esau.
ugogo lo bathi
Katrina Esau.
ugogo Katrina Esau. You understand? So when I looked at that, and I'm a person who travels, you know, I travel a lot in South Africa, and I have met, you know, the queer speaking people, especially when I start crossing and getting to the likes of Northwest, Northern Cape. You understand? But most importantly, the reason why I became interested in the language was the essence of where the current languages we are speaking come from. When I discovered that these are transitional languages, and I heard you and Brother Korua speak the language, I was like, there's no way that our people can say our languages, they don't stem from these languages.
Yes, my
Even
brother.
though we can see efforts
Yes, my brother.
by colonials, and I'm even talking about black colonials like ANC, because colonialism is a mindset. It's got no color. People need to understand that colonialism is not about color. It's about the dispossession and the erasure of people's culture, traditions, and customs using what they call globalization agendas, right? So when I heard you guys speak the language, I was like, this is where we can actually get umlando kapa nalane ka Sesotho ho tla thwe ke nalane. Ya mo ditaba di tholahalang teng, where you will get all the news in the language, which is the codes that our ancestors left, you know.
Yes.
It's very important.
Yes.
It's very important, and Mina, I really appreciate it when I'm Mhlekazi ukuthi you are doing the work that you are doing. And I would like to urge people to actually follow you, even on YouTube, to follow you and get the glimpse of the depth, the depthness of the language and what it can actually do. Because me, personally, myself, I have been able to break away from colonial norms and understanding using just a language, you know, because with this language you are able to discern and understand that. For instance, if I can use an example of Capenham,
Yeah.
right? You can use the example of Capenham, where people are like, oh, the old name of Cape Town is Capenham, blah 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 blah. Now, if you don't speak the language, it's going to be easy for an Hebrew Israelite to come and tell you that in ancient times, the land that we call Cape Town today was called Capernaum, if they don't speak the language. But when I listened to you, I saw and I heard you name the place Cape Town. Now you must understand that we've got our own brothers and sisters here in the south who are still referring to that place as Cape Naum because they've got religious dogma and ideologies. You understand? Now that alone, as I said, is an erasure of history, because as you called it in Mhlekazi, and please help me with the name because I actually forgot it, but I know Guti, there's a name Kaba, if I'm not mistaken. You know, oh, Gaib. Okay, Gaib. You are like, you understand? You just saying that alone breaks, number one, the so-called correlation of our people and Bantu Israelites and the so-called people that are called Israelites. You understand? Because now you will be able to say, wait, our people, they never called that place Capernaum. It's Gaib. And you can literally go to the people that speak that language, right? Two, you can go to those people and say, so when did you guys call this place? And they will tell you, we've been calling this place that name since antiquity.
Yeah.
Now, that alone breaks now the historical fallacy, the historicity that Hebrew Israelites are selling to our people when they say that the Bible is a historical book. Because
Yes,
we will be
brother.
like, no, the
Yes,
natives,
brother.
they don't call that place that name. And then we can go and investigate and find out that, no, man, Capernaum is a name that was used by Portuguese, that was used by Dutch. You understand? And all of those people, they are not people of this land. Therefore, they could have never named the place.
Yes,
Now
brother.
it
Let
means,
me when you're done,
yes,
let me
brother.
know I can
Let
get
me
deep into that.
when you're done, let me know I can get deep into that. Yeah, 30 seconds, Mhlonich. You see, so you have broken down the language, you have broken down the historical fallacy. Now you are able to locate a people to a certain place because they have never been displaced. You understand? Where you will get people saying, oh, these people actually come from India. No, these people, they named the place Kup Gaib.
Yes,
They never
brother.
called it Capernaum. And those
Yes,
people,
brother.
they were there since antiquity because these people are playing a displacement game where they're like, you're not coming from there. The name of the place was called Capernaum. You're not coming from there. The name of the place was called Bethlehem. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to highlight that with language alone, you are able to come up with these conclusions where you can check the the how factual the information is and how factual the historicity is, and all of that can be deciphered using language. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Firstly, my brother, ne? Firstly, there are some questions I would like to address. Umzimkhulu Kawa, Utado Richard Tainton Kawa is your great grandfather. Yeah, you must read his books. Well, I'm assuming you have them because he's your great grandfather. Utatu Richard Tainton Kawan Yamazi. I've got his work. I want you to also read Imbumba Yamanyama. Imbumba Yamanyama infuses the history of KZN, the history of Eastern Cape, and some of the Lesotho clans. So Imbumba Yamanyama, don't take it as a historical book in terms of history, but rather in terms of the clan names and the clan praises. They're very good at tracing that. But the history itself, it borders on colonial mythology. Imbumba Yamanyama is very good when you want to find out clan names. So you can easily connect amaXesibe as a Eastern Cape, namaXesibe as a KZN if you follow Inwadi, Imbumba Yamanyama. You can also look at Inwadi, Ityala Lamawele. Remember now, when you use these books, you don't use them as truth. You need to be able to sift through them because a lot of them were written during apartheid and colonialism. So you will see there's a lot of religious undertones. And sometimes they will talk about Kush and Ham and those things. So you don't necessarily believe that garbage because, let me not say garbage, but that information. But you take the book as a source of firstly, clan names, clan praises, is Tagazelo, is Nanelo, Direto, and then linguistic integrity as well. So, yeah. And then there's another question from Umdwa Gqarha. Uyabuza isizwe samagqarha samacwerha sisukaphi? Isizwe samagqarha samacwerha ngabathwa. There's absolutely no doubt about that. There's an author called Zakes Mda. Zakes Mda, his mother is from Amacwerha. His mother is from Amagqarha. He writes that his mother comes from the Kwe clans. Now, the people's problem is that when you say Kwe, they think not black or the other. I don't know where it comes from because Tina, how I was raised, I was told that my ancestors used to live in caves. In fact, if you just go back 300 years and look at a Musutu, just a typical Mufukeng, you won't see a difference between the Mufukeng and the people in the Kalahari today called San. 200 years back, just get a picture of a proper Mutlokwa. Like a Mutlokwa, just look at them, the way they're dressed, it's the exact same thing. There's countless books that tell you that even the Zulus or Zula, they call them Zula Batwa. AmaZulu themselves, the ones of Usoshangane, okay, let me say Amandwando kaSoshangane, Amanqumalo. When he went to the northern provinces, the song are called Usoshangane, the Zulu Batwa or the Zulu Batwa. It's there, there's records of it. That is to say, they saw AmaZulu as Batwa. Not forgetting that within the Watsonga, there's a group known as Vatswa. My brother Mukarang Wakwambe always talks about this group. So the idea of Abatwa as being something separate from Abantu, it always confounds me. I don't see where it comes from because for me it's strange. I've never been taught like that. I've only been taught that Abatwa ngokoko bethu. Ubuntu bethu is not separate from UbuThwa, uyabo. So the way you see uDlamini as part of, is like a clan of Abantu Bethu. The way you see Undaba as like a clan, Abantu, you must see them that same way as well. We are born. So that's the first thing. Therefore, then you'll be able to decipher that within a kingdom, you have Izizwe that were distinctly Abatwa in terms of lifestyle. Abatwa in terms of lifestyle, that is to say, Abatwa did not keep cattle. Abazulayo. Within our kingdoms, you have Abatwa who kept cattle, but did not have kings. And then you have Abantu who had kings. And then you had Abantu who did not have kings, known as Imifunda. Imifunda. In Eastern Cape, Imifunda, Ngamagcina, or Kamela, the people of Steve Biko. Ngamagqunukhwebe, the people of Miriam Makeba. No. Yeah, Krizani. So Krizani and Steve Biko both came from groups in the Eastern Cape who did not have kings. Krizani came from Amagqunukhwebe, his Chonyane, they are Gqunukhwa descendants. Steve Biko came from Amagcina Khamela. Both these people were imifunda in isiXhosa because they never had kings. But both these people are also Kwe ngabathwa. But when you look at Krizani and when you look at Steve Biko, I know you see them as abantu bakho, and that's what it is, really. That's what it is. So amacwecha is the same way. Amacwecha ngabathwa within the kingdoms of Amampondo and Amampondo Mise. Ngogxarha, ovambane, amathole omthwakazi, omfazi obelelinye elincelisa ngaphesheya komlambo. Omahlahla elagawulwa ladinga abarhuqa, abathezi. Now I've heard people say that amacwecha come from the Nama people. Now, I'm hesitant to speak like that because that's one of the core reasons our people are misled. They think for someone to be Kwe, then you must belong to some external group other than the groups we already have. The groups we have are polities. That is to say, it's our political structures that we organize our societies in. AmaZulu is a political structure. Within that political structure, today, you have groups such as Amatonga, groups such as Amalala, groups such as Amantungwa, groups such as Amadebe, within the polity of UbuZulu. And therefore, it's some kind of an indigenous citizenship. Same thing with UbuXhosa, it's an indigenous citizenship. Same thing with Ubumpondo, it's an indigenous citizenship. A kingdom, Umbuso, it's a government. It's an indigenous form of government. Basotho is the exact same thing. Those people were not one nation, blah, blah, blah. They were independent groups, but they came under the governance of the Bakwena. And therefore they became Basotho. They let go of their independence, autonomy, and then they became Basotho under one king. And I'm talking about the Basotho of Lesotho. Same, so that's basically how we organize our political structures. These are political structures. Within the political structures, there's diverse bloodlines. Now, those bloodlines cross beyond the political structures. I always make an example with myself. Dingwase Mamfene, Amamfene are there in KZN, Amamfene are there in Lesotho, Amamfene are in the Eastern Cape, Amamfene are in the Northern Cape. There's no place where Amamfene are not. And all those groups of Amamfene, I am related to them by blood. But it goes beyond Amamfene. We have Abo Mncube, we have Abo Shezi. These are people that I'm related to. I cannot wash it away. Or Tusi, yes. I cannot wash it away. But that's not my citizenship, indigenous citizenship. Aibobuzwe bam. Gumnombo, umlando, igazi, bubuzalwane bam. So amathusi awuncube bathweneng bahiba bathweneng in the Northern Cape, amamfene Eastern Cape, abazalwane bam, those people, gabazalwane. Umzalwane, remember, is not a church member. Umzalwane comes from the word ukuzala, to give birth. Ukuzalana, reciprocal form, to give birth to each other or to relate to each other through common birth. So abazalwane are the people I share blood with, and those people are not limited by which king you swear allegiance to. So amacwecha ngabathwa, and kuthiwa bazalana namanama. Apparently they are related to the Nama clans, but I wouldn't say hold on to such. We have to find more information as to where they truly originate. But there's no doubt that they are under the Mpondo Kingdom and the Mpondo Mise Kingdom. So ngamacwecha ango. Now, there's another question someone asked. Before I speak on what you, Brother Limakara, said, someone is asking about the clan of Unyawuza. They say, Uhlamba ngobubende. It's a clan praise. Sisithakazelo. Onyawuza bahlamba ngobubende. Ububende ligazi. Sisihlonipho seligama lithi igazi. They wash with blood. Njengoba amanye amadoda ehlamba ngamanzi. Bahlamba ngobende bona, amanzi ekhona. Hey, Blue Moon, I fought for my account yesterday. So someone was asking what happened to the account. I was showing the West Africans eating dogs and eating human beings, and yeah, TikTok decided to suspend me. I was unable. They cut my live short. I was unable to continue with my live, so I had to do an appeal process. I appealed and all that, and finally, I was able to restore my account. So yeah. Another question. Kamagu, it's Sandile, not Sandiso. Hey, Sandiso. People used to call me Sandiso even at school. Are there archives in Pretoria reliable for tracing family history? Kubantu Bantsundu. Kubantu Bantsundu, when it comes to archives, it will always take you back to the 1800s because that's when missionaries started really noting down. Yeah, one. Missionaries really started noting down our names. Like the earliest I've seen my surname written down in military recordings is in the 1800s. That's the earliest I've seen. I've seen military recordings in the military graves. Someone with my surname is there. I've seen in an old newspaper, I think in Dabazabansundu, is in Zabansundu, something like that. In 1884, I saw someone with my surname there. So it's always going to go back to the 1800s. But what you can do, you can, thank you, Blomun. What you can do is, the most important part is to trace the clan name first. So, Siboko, or Isibongo Sako, Isidugo Sako. To trace that is very easy. If you are Musutu, Mutswana, there's books for that. For example, oral records that are written down in the book of Friedrich Ellenberger. He did not write that book. He wrote what people said to him. History of Basotho, modern and ancient, if you are on the Sotho side. If you are on the Tswana, on the Swati side, Zulu side, Xhosa side, it's very easy because we tend to have similar clan names. Yeah, one. So you just say what clan name you're looking for. Now, if you want to look at your specific household now, that is your last name, your father's father, it's going to be very difficult for you. But in Pretoria, maybe you can try the National Library. The National Library of South Africa, NLSA. I know they've got a branch in Pretoria and in Cape Town. I've used the Cape Town one. So you could try that, the National Library of South Africa. You can go there and look at those old books. But also, another best way is to go to VETS or UP tax. Go to VETS or UP, look at their book collection. If you go to tax, University of Pretoria, look at their book collections. They've got our history there. That's the most reliable place you could go to. Our history is in universities. It's in UCT, it's in VETS, it's in UKZN, it's in Fort Hare University, it's in UP, it's in overseas universities, Oxford, Stanford. You have no idea. The books I spend years looking for, I find them through Stanford University, University of California, a lot of them. So the guys who have the records gave them up to university libraries. In fact, here at UCT, they burnt down that library a few years back. The library that had our history is the one that got burnt down. Apparently, it was connected to some failed fire, but I went to UCT. I always go to UCT from time to time. That library has nothing to do with the bush. It's not next to the bush. How did the fire skip all the other buildings and go to that library? So for me, it was weird. I knew that it was not true. There was some foul play there. The other library where students go to study, it was untouched. That's the library where they had a sculpture of naked Sarah Bartman, whose real name is Sewura, from the Kunukwa Xhosa group. You do know Sarah Bartman came from a group of Xhosa Kunukwa people. That's where she came from a place known as Ramcha, a river, Ramcha, or Elekwa. They call it Gamtuos today. It means lion river, by the way. Ram, lion, like ukurarama, to roar. She came from there. The area, the district she came from is called Kam Doboa, the Green Valley. Yeah, Cambridge as well, man. Cambridge, they've got a lot of our archives. But if you look through universities, they also digitize them now. So maybe just try and refine your search, Try and refine your search. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you so much. Yes, Kamdobowa. It means Green Valley. I know in Kona, there's a place called Kamdobowa. I think it's one of the Konukwebe villages there in Kona. In Kona, it's a river. Agiri Kona is a river. The river Kona has a tributary called Choka. I was there. I went there with Poppy from the Poppy show. The river Choka, I told another guy before I even went that the river Choka literally means the bushy river. The river in the bush. Cho means bush. Ka is water. Amanzi aqazayo. Choka, bushy river. I went and saw it for myself that it's really bushy. It's full of trees everywhere. And then there's another river. Iqesi. Iqesi means full of sand. Iqesi, umhlabathi. Iqesi Kama. And then one of the tributaries is Ibhaqa zeQesi. Is a river called Ibirha, which is the exact same name as Gqeberha. Now, along Qesi, you find this place called Kamdobowa, the Green Valley. And this is people who are not knowledgeable think these are borrowed words. These are not borrowed words. The people who name these places still stay there. It's not like someone came and invaded the place. No. The people who named these places are still staying there. There's a gentleman here in the comments who's confirming these names. Khibikha, Qesi, Kamdobowa. People think I'm making these things up. I don't make these things up. I don't have time to make things up. I don't have interest. I don't have interest to do that. Zulu Kantombela, I see your question. Ndwendwe. Let me actually. I think you asked it before. Let me put it down, and then later today, when I do the second live, I'll come with a proper feedback. Ndwendwe. I don't wanna take the nearest meaning now. The word in Sesotho, huqoqa, does it stem from Kwe people? But you are separating Kwe people from Basotho when you speak like that. Remember, Basotho are a polity. It's a political structure of different clans. So within Basotho, Kwe people are there as well. In fact, within the Bakwena royal clan, there's Kwe people there. A lot of the Kregwi or Kikregwi speaking people who were called Aman Kenkesha in KZN, I think. A lot of the Kikregwi became Bakwena because it made sense, especially the Kikregwi and the Kutle peoples. It made sense for them to become Bakwena because in plural, they are Kwena, which means Kwe people. So a lot of them became Bakwena. This is how it works, ne? There's something called ukupehlelela. Ukupehlelela literally means to beat up, to whip the psychoactive herbs, ne? But in figuratively, ukupehlelela means to initiate. There's a tradition of ukupehlelela into a clan. People come, they join a kingdom, and then they are given a clan. Some white people in South Africa, the ones who a lot of the traders who ended up joining indigenous society, bapehlelelwa, which means they were initiated into our societies. They were given clan names, they were given names, indigenous names, etc., etc. They became part of society. So it does happen. People take clan names. Kwena or Kwe peoples, they majority of the time take royal clan names. they take royal clan names because a lot of them were rainmakers, like Omnisi Bemvula, Abatembu. So a lot of them were rainmakers, and therefore they were like this with the royal family. Amate no Luimi. And therefore it made sense to be initiated into the royal clans. All the royal families in South Africa have queer heritage. You go to Amahlubi, you find Okaba, the red cow people, the red nation. Kaba, it's a queer word, Kaba. You find Omsimang. When they say their clan names, they say they are the queer people who united the house of Udlomo. They are the queer people who swear allegiance to Unonkosi. These are the Msimang people within Amahlubi. But you can't speak of Msimang people as if they are separate from Amahlubi. Omsimang ngabaThwa. They are Thwa peoples. They are the Thwa people of the fields. AbaThwa abaluthuli. AbaThwa bezinduli. Abahlanganisa indlu kaDlomo. Abafunga unonkosi. Same thing with Basotho. You have Khwaikwe within Basotho. You have Xhoxe within Basotho. You have Xhotle or the Gixikwi people within Basotho. So I'm trying to answer your question. You say the word Huqoqa, does it come from Kwe? It comes from Sesotho. Now, what you should be asking is, does Sesotho come from Kwe? That's the real question here. Or is it Zulu? Or is it Xhosa? Or Sepedi, etc. Absolutely. Remember, Sesotho is a combination of many different dialects. You have Sifukeng, you have Sirolong, you have Sirwa, which is what I'm just talking about now. Sirwa. Our existence, in its most primal mode, our existence cannot be detached from Kwe identity. You can try and run away from it all you want. It cannot be detached. You see, Manikongo is saying Xhotle is a place in Lesotho. Xhotle is actually a group of Kwe people, by the way. It's the people who speak the language known as Gixikwi. Thank you, Zulu Kantombela. So yes, Qoqa is a Sesotho word, but Sesotho itself is a lingua franca of all these groups, Barwa, Bakwena, Bafukeng, Bafu, and all these groups come primarily from three societies of Southern Africa. There's three societies of Southern Africa. The societies who hunt, known as San. The societies who hunt and do some agriculture, known as Kwe. The societies who hunt, do agriculture, keep cattle, and make weapons, known as Ntu. These three societies, they all come from one ancestral group, of which the oldest branch connects to the so-called San. So even Ubuntu Bethu, in essence, cannot be detached from UbuThwa. Lihaheng la Barwa, the cave of Barwa, is another place. And there was a king, not a king, a Gaub, a chief of Barwa called Swai, a close ally of Murena Murosi or Enga. In Lesotho, there's an unlimited amount of history of people who lived in caves. My ancestors came from there. So when you say there's a place called Xhotle, it's a name of a clan. The Gixikwi speaking people. And they're not just in Lesotho, they're also in KZN and Eswatini, these people. Eswatini, they became Ngwenya. And then Haheng Labarwa, that was a place where Gaub Swai stayed, Chief Swai being the chief of the Barwa of Lesotho. At least one of the groups. I think it was probably the Khwaikwe group, if not the Xhotle group. On the other hand, you have Murena Murosi. In his household, Murosi, he had a group of people. The most famous one was a guy called King King, because he was interviewed by Europeans. He was a great hunter, a great translator. He spoke Sephuthi, he spoke Khwaikwe and Sesotho. The history of Lesotho has never been told before. The history of Lesotho has never been told. The reason why it has not been told is because people who are in power are obsessed with erasing everything else so that they could remain in power. The people who are in power are afraid of talking about these things because they feel like, which is not true, they feel like it will dilute their perceived power. It won't. It's history, man. Lesotho is not a place of Bakwena, Bafukeng, Barolong. No, there's many other groups that have always been there. Bakwena belong there, Bafukeng belong there, Barolong, whoever, they all belong there. But we cannot only talk about Morena Muswashwe, hey, Tababusiwu, yo, powerful man. No, before Tababusiwu, you had Lihaheng Labarwa. Before Tababusiwu, you had Tsateyana. Tsatjana Tsatjana Murena. Yes, I forgot the name now. Tsatjana Murena, which was named by my forefathers. Before Tababusiwu, you had Kakoha, a village of my forefathers. Before Tababusiwu, you had Buteta, a village of my forefathers. Before Tababusiwu, you had Lukhulu, a cave of my forefathers. Why are we not talking about it? It's almost like people who are in power don't want these things to be touched on. It doesn't dilute Sotho identity at all. It actually enriches it. So Lesotho, we haven't even started talking about Lesotho. I see people claiming lands. This is the land, the land of the Mushwashwe. You know, Free State belongs to us. Guys, all of South Africa belongs to us. All of South Africa belongs to us. But royal families, some of them, they are not good people because they deliberately mislead people into false mythological histories because they want to maintain power. Let me go back. There's a comment I wanted to answer here. Hello guys, hello guys, hello guys. Someone was asking about Amagwashu. Who are the Amagwashu? And someone was asking about caves in the Eastern Cape. Someone was asking about Ogaba. And then Ukagane was asking about Khakhabe and Ngaleka. And then someone was asking about Amabamba. Okay. Khakhabe and Ngaleka. Barwa of Qilwane. Yes. The Barwa of Qilwane were like this. With the royal... This is what I'm going to say, Imnane. The power of the royal families of this country, the indigenous royal families, they also know it. It's in Quest secrets. And Quest secrets are our secrets. That's all I'm going to say. The royal families know it as well. They know it. If you sit down with them, they will tell you. But they're not going to write it in books. But they know it. Not even one royal. You can even ask uTingiswayo wemithetho. Or umlilwana ka senzanga khona. You can ask them. They know. Well, I mean, they're not alive, but you can go and find out about uTingiswayo, his different regiments. There were specific regiments that were dominated by specific groups that had specific powers. How do you know that someone is Igaleka or Khakhabe kwaXhosa? Well, Igaleka and Khakhabe, it's the ngamabutho kwaXhosa. It's two different houses. The senior houses of amaXhosa. The big house, the senior house, ngamaGcaleka, the right-hand house, ngamaKhakhabe. These two major ruling houses, kwaXhosa, have then princes who were born, and those princes had their own chieftaincies within the kingdom. So amaKhakhabe, therefore, are people who come from the rulership of uKhakhabe himself, which is down the line of uNgqika. So amaNgqika, these are the people of Khakhabe. How do you know that? You just trace the origin of your people and also the land in which you live. So generally lands east of the Nciba River within the Xhosa kingdom, that's Rhakhabe. West of the Nciba River, within the Xhosa Kingdom, that's Gcaleka. So oCentane, oGatyane, ngamagcaleka ngo. eDikeni, eQonce, eXesi, generally ngamaRhakhabe. But remember, we cannot use this as blanket statements. Within amaRhakhabe, we have amaGqunukhwebe, you have amaMfengu, you have amagcina. That doesn't mean those people stop. Doesn't mean they stop being who they are, but the rulership they are under is the rulership of ubuRhakhabe. AmaRhakhabe are many different groups. There's many different groups. Imingcangcathelo, you've got amandlambe, amangqika. It all goes all the way towards Gqeberha. But I don't want to go into the little details of which clan is amaRhakhabe, which clan is not. Yabo. But amangqika, amaRhakhabe, amandlambe, they all come from the kingship of Rhakhabe. Amagcaleka, kingship of uGcaleka. Then there are people who were there already. There were people who were there already before Rhakhabe and Gcaleka were born. These are people like Imidange, Amagwali, Amambalu. These are people like Amanzoto, Amankabane, Amagiqwa, Amaqoqwa. A lot of them, they call themselves izihlobo zikaGcaleka. A lot of them. Izihlobo zikaGcaleka. East, yes. East of Nciba is Gcaleka, and west of Nciba is Rhakhabe. Yes. But remember now, we're talking about the ruling clan. We're not saying everyone who's there is a descendant of Rhakhabe. That would be a lie. Where I'm from is the land of Rhakhabe. But the people, the chiefs, are not necessarily descendants of Rhakhabe. Kuna mabhele akwamavuso that are ruling there. Amabhele are not descendants of Rhakhabe. Amabhele are from KZN. Kuna makhuze where I'm from. Amakhuze are from KZN. Kuna mampondo where I'm from. These are not blood descendants of Rhakhabe, but they report to the house of Rhakhabe. So Eastern Cape is a very diverse place. It's like super diverse. We have Amavundle who are Bafokeng mixture. We have Obai. There's many clans called Omsudu, Tina, Amaduna, Obai, Omasango, Onzaba. These people are called Msutu all together. So, very, very important to know that. I'm gonna answer another question. Amagikwa, nenkosi zamaXhosa, amachawe. Remember, Amagikwa were independent before. So Amagikwa were not under inkosi zamaXhosa, but I think in the 1700s, when the Afrikaners and the English started to really penetrate the territory, the Sierveld, Amagikwa were broken down. Their last leader was the grandson of Unkohla. The grandson of Unkohla was the last independent leader of Amagikwa. One group of Amagikwa was extremely close to Amagcaleka. Very close. They actually were some of the most senior councillors, Amaphakathi aphezulu, together with Amankabane. Yabon. And Amagikwa, I have blood relation to them. So there's a leader of Amagikwa called Reiter. Reiter, unfortunately, he was friendly with Europeans. And they dealt with him. I actually have a picture, but I'm not going to show it. It's fine. But he was friendly with Europeans, and they dealt with him like they dealt with all those who were friendly with them. Agiri, they always backstab them. So Amagikwa they are the councillors of Amaxhosa. That is to say, Balibunga, Amaphakathi, Amaxhosa. And then I wanna answer. I see the questions, guys, but I just wanna answer, and also I'm on lunchtime. So I might drop in 30 minutes. But I wanna answer the question my brother Limakara was saying, about the name of Cape Town and it being linked to the Bible. I think it's important that I address it. So Cape Town is not Capernaum from the Bible. And I feel sorry for people who are gullible enough to believe these things. It's not Capernaum. Cape Town, the name Cape comes from Portuguese Cabo. Cabo de Esperança, the Cape of Good Hope. But it came from an older name, the Cape of Storms. So Portuguese ships in the 1400s, whenever they come and try to cross the Cape, the ships would wreck. There were so many storms, they would wreck. They were not built strong to cross the seas. To such a point that the guys thought, in their mythology, they thought the mountains of Cape Town, from Table Mountain all the way down to the peninsula, they said it's a giant, the sleeping giant of the Cape. In fact, in Cape Town, there's a place called Menenberg. Menenberg is die Man en Berg, the man in the mountain. If you come to the Cape Flats, which is not a group of flats that are built, the Cape Flats is not a group of physical buildings called flats. Instead, the Cape Flats is a flat land surrounded by mountains and then the sea on one side. So when you come to Cape Town, you drive around the Devil's Peak, you start to see that there's mountains all over. So, let me see. Okay. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, good. I think I was getting a call, but I'm on lunch, so I'm sorry, I'm not picking it up. So what the Cape Flats is not flats where colored people stay or where Xhosa people stay. That's not what the Cape Flats is. The Cape Flats is a flat land. It's an expansive flat land. One, it's surrounded by mountains and the sea, the False Bay Sea. Two, and it's got aeolian sand of marine origin and small shrubs of the fynbos biome. That's what the Cape Flats is. There's sand everywhere in the Cape Flats. There's little shrubs. A lot of the trees are small. The native trees, they form part of the fynbos biome, and it's flat. So if you're in the Cape Flats, you can look around. There's mountains all over. There's a person there called Skylar calling me Ma7. You know why they call me Ma7? At school, I did 7 subjects. I would get 7 distinctions for everything. So at school, I was called Ma7. Whoever this person is, they know me from school. I used to be called Ma7. So yeah, maybe someday I will share my school reports. You guys are not gonna believe it. Anyway, so
Hello, how are you?
can I no. Can I finish? I need to finish. My time is limited. I will let you speak. So when you're in the Cape Flats now, it could be anywhere from Kenilworth, Lansdowne, Menenberg, Gugule to Khayelitsha. All these places are in the Cape Flats. If you're there and you look at the mountains, you're gonna see it's like a giant that's laying on its back. It looks like a giant that's laying on its back. Why am I narrating this? Is because when the Portuguese were trying to cross, their ships would be wrecked so much, they started to incorporate their mythology that one of the titans of Greek mythology must have been, taken and punished to come here at the bottom of Africa, and then to sort of like a punishment. So it's an ancient giant of Greek mythology. Anyway, then they came with the name the Cape of Storms because there were storms all over. And then it became Cape of Good Hope. Cape of Good Hope. And that name, Cape of Good Hope, people a lot of the time, it's still there. Good Hope FM, Good Hope Center, it's still there in Cape Town. Now, what is a cape? A cape is a geographical feature. It's not Capernaum. It's literally a landform, a promontory, a projection of land, a tongue of land that extends. Intlonto, ngesintu. That's what a cape is. So when there's land that's a bit elevated and it extends like a tongue, that's called a cape. It can extend into the sea majority of the time, but sometimes even inland. So usually where you have a cape, you also tend to have a bay, because a bay is an inlet of water. But an inlet can only exist if there's land that extends, and therefore it forms an inlet. So when you have a cape, then you tend to have a bay as well. That's why we have bays everywhere. Saldanha Bay, Algoa Bay, Jeffreys Bay. Wherever there's a bay, there's a cape. South Africa is full of capes. In the Northern Cape, in the Eastern Cape, in the Western Cape, I'm sure even in the KZN, wherever there's a sea, you will have many capes. Therefore, that's why they call this place the town in the Cape, the Cape Town. They could have called it the town in the Bay, the Bay Town, or the Cape Town. It doesn't matter, because there's many bays as much as there's many capes. It's lands that are, it's landforms that are extended into the sea like tongues. That's one. After the Cape, what you get is something called a peninsula. A peninsula is even further into the sea now. It's even, yes, Richards Bay, yes, I love it. A peninsula is even further into the sea. The word peninsula comes from Greek, penny insula. Penny means almost. It means almost. For example, our languages, Isintu, tend to be penultimate in accent, which means penultimate, almost last. The second last vowel tends to hold the accent in our languages. So a lot of our words are penultimate. Pen, almost last, ultimate. Peninsula, almost island. It's an extended strip of land deep into the sea. And then you have islands. So it's three landforms: capes, peninsula, and island. So Cape Town comes from that school of thought. It's got nothing to do with a Hebrew word called Capernaum. Just like Canaanland in the Western Cape, the municipality of Canaanland or district has nothing to do with the fact that this is the ancient city of Canaan. Nothing to do with that. It's Afrikaners who were indoctrinated with Afrikaner Calvinism, which taught them that this is their chosen land and we are their chosen servants. It is them who came with these names. It is them who named the place Bethlehem that you know today, Bethlehem. It is them who named the district called Canaanland today, Canaanland. It's got nothing to do with indigenous languages, really. That is not to say these words themselves, by themselves, cannot be derived using indigenous languages, because remember, we are the source. I can promise you all these words, I can show you in indigenous languages. Not just these ones, even Greek words, Latin words, I can show you indigenous languages. Sumerian words, Mesopotamian words, but that's not the point. The point is, the city, Cape Town, was never named Capernaum, because Capernaum is two words, Kaper and Nahum in Hebrew. Kaper, Nahum. The place of rest. Nothing to do with indigenous name. The indigenous name of Cape Town is Tui Gaib, the gathering of clouds, or Tui Traba, depending on the language you speak. Tui Gaib, and Tui Traba, the gathering of clouds, where the clouds gather. And anyone who knows anything about Cape Town, thank you, observer, would know that there's something called the tablecloth in Cape Town that gathers on top of Table Mountain. I'm sure it's there even now as I'm speaking, which means the clouds gather, the gathering of clouds. So we need to send what is this word? Need to cleanse ourselves from the rottenness and laziness of the mind. It's laziness. It is pure and utter laziness. That we do not take even a second to go and actually try and dig up. This is public information. It doesn't need some high level of IQ. Well, maybe it does, but it doesn't need like you to be an expert scientist to find these things. Someone is like, I heard that in isiXhosa, Cape Town is Intabakazixesha. Yeah, that is isiXhosa. It's Intabakazixesha in isiXhosa. That's what it is. Table Mountain. In isiXhosa, Intabakazixesha. Not in Intabetafile. But in Kwegowab, it's Kareb Urik Amakwaho. Kareb is the Xhosa word umkolomba. Urikama connects to the Xhosa word kama, amanzi, amakama. Kwaho connects to the word hutswa, to come out. Hutswa. Tswaho, tswako, the one that's coming out. So Kareb urikama kwaho, umkolomba okumayo from emanzini. The mountain that rises from the sea. That's what they call it in Kwegoab and Korakobab. In isiXhosa, it's called Intabakazixesha, the mountain of the Qais. What is the Qais? It's the clans, Amakliba. The clans that lived there because there was no king. I don't understand now the people who claim to be king. I'm the Khoisan king. Hey. Sikalamanqatha nqothololo wena. So sikalamanqatha qothololo anqumileyo. Kalamatswalapho. And people must stop tagging me in these things of Khoisan kings, guys. That's not what I do. I don't understand. Don't tag me in Mr. Khoisan king or this or that. Don't tag me in those things. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm here to help shed light on people who want to know who they are. And by knowing who they are, they will know everything else that comes with that. I'm not trying to be every day arguing with some fools on the internet. I am not. I'm not tuktes. I don't lack hobbies. I've got thousands of things to do. So I don't want to be tagged on some King Khoisan nonsense or brown aboriginal nonsense. We've been saying that it is not true, the things they're saying. Now, why is everyone busy following these people? Don't follow them. If they are making you not to sleep at night, don't follow them. Follow me. That's how intelligent people operate. If you're an intelligent individual, you cannot be following stupid, nonsensical nonentity. Please. The time you're spending watching that damn false video sponsored by AfriForum and Stratcom, apartheid tactics, you could be spending that time to actually learn your ancestral language. And when you learn that, you come and make a video. You will see them. They will run with their tails between their backs, between their buttocks, whatever. And that's where you need to get. You can't be arguing every day with people online about Khoisan this, Khoisan. It sounds retarded. And that's me being excessively polite, by the way. All right. I'm not reprimanding you guys. Some of you are way older than me. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just saying that, like, we could be doing so much more with our time. So much more. You guys will know. It's hard to find me. It's hard to find me in these comment sections because I'm not that kind of guy. I've never been since I was a child. I know my abilities. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm not going to spend time arguing with nonentities. If someone wants to argue with me, we can host a live and schedule it for 3 hours, and we can go toe to toe. And I can promise you, more likely than not, they will leave that live agreeing with me. Because I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just telling the truth. Tate Sandile, have you done a video on Amazizi? No, I haven't done a video on Amazizi, my brother. I haven't done a video on Amazizi. I'm working on it. Amazizi have a very long history, so I'm still trying to talk to this other guy just to get some records from him. Because you know, Amazizi, if I say something and I miss one name, they will fight with me. That's another thing. If I say and I miss a name of some ancestor, they will get angry and start fighting. So I need to make sure by the time I start, I have all my notes. But I will talk about Amazizi. They are a very important part of South Africa. I will talk about them. Muren, let me just answer one question. I'll give you a chance. Ne? Liema, amagiko ebethetha lwimi luni ngaphandle kwesiXhosa. So here's the thing about the people of the Eastern Cape. Here's the thing. I saw it. I will respond to the message. Amagikwa. Some people call them the Hungikwa people. But when I went to check the Hungikwa, it's actually the Twankheikwa. Which means the people of the wild cat. That's what Hungikwa means. It means the wild cat people, just like Batlokwa, Khwaukwa. Remember yesterday, guys, those who were there, I told you names like Kwabe, Nwabi, Nwa are all in reference to the wild cat. So Twankheikwa means the wild cat people. Khwaukwa or Tlokwa means wild cat people. So Amagikwa are the wild cat people, which would mean they are related to Twashe Kaib or Amatiwash. So therefore that would mean they spoke probably a Kwe Goab language. Whatever dialect they spoke cannot be far from Ora today. It cannot be far from Kwe Goab today. It cannot be far from Gunu Kobab today. So if, let's say, you want the closest thing to the language of Amagikwa, it's probably Kwe Goab or Ora Kobab, which still is similar to isiXhosa, by the way. So what we mean when we say isiXhosa, isiZulu, isiSotho are transitional languages, what we mean is that there was transition that took place between 1650 to 1950. 300 years of transition. This is where you get the modern day isiZulu and the modern day isiXhosa. The transition of different groups moving between places. The transition of people moving between different places, clans moving between different provinces. Today, we end up with isiXhosa, isiZulu, isiSotho. These are transitional languages, which means they are lingua franca that formed because of the mixing of our people with their indigenous dialects. That's why today, isiZulu, some person in isiZulu will say, izintombi zangakithi. Another person will say, intombi. I used to wonder as a child, why is this one speaking with Y and the other one speaking with Z? It's a remnant of an old dialect, ukuyeyeza, which was used by Amakwabe. Even Ushaka says, bayede. Actually, not just Ushaka. The people, when they kahlela the king, but bayede when our pagati. Bayede. Nkosi kayiqedwa. Bayede is from Amakwabe, literally, and Amathethwa. Whereas the other Lala groups would say bayete. Bayete. So kukuyeyeza. The Z and the Y kukuyeyeza. Even Emazizini, they did it. One of the ancestors of Amaziz was called Lamzeni, but some people call him Lamyeni. Ukuchaza is to cut. But some people in KZN, but ukuchaya is to cut. So the Z becomes the Y. Ukuyeyeza. How? Because the languages are transitional. Which means they form because people were transitioning. It was a 300-year period of mixing. Ukuntungela is to speak in a particular way. Basically, is to speak in the fashion of amantungwa, like the people of Zimbabwe, bayantungela. And isiZulu siyantungela to an extent. It's just a word that means to do in the manner of amantungwa. Bayede, bazise, bring them, balethe, inkosi ayiqedwa. Yes, balethe, inkosi kayiqedwa. That's the full sentence would be bayede, inkosi kayiqedwa, amaqwabe. Bayethe, inkosi kayiqedwa, amathetho or imithetho. So the different dialects are not going to speak exactly the same. There's going to be small nuance here and there. But you will see a common pattern. So that's what we mean when we say isiXhosa, isiZulu, Sesotho, Setswana are transitional. Is to mean there are languages that used to be spoken 300 years ago. Today, they are not there distinctly. They are part of a group of languages that we speak as one. Murana Tato, speak, my brother, and then he's gone. I'm just gonna see if there's anything I have to answer. I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna leave you shortly. I'm at work. Tato Muren, speak to me. Amabamba, we'll talk about them later. Amabamba, they are actually the older groups together with Amanzoto and Amankabani. They are very old, but we'll talk about them later. At 7, I'm going live. Please join, guys. Murana Tato.
Dumelang, I hope you cranted, I hope you sharp. My take was a small one. I'm going to be very quick as case, ne? From what you said, and I agree with you, ne? Guti, we should not waste our time with this First Nation question in. But hear me out, ne, Gangani.
Yeah.
When for someone like you, I know that you're very busy teaching people. I understand when you say people should not tag you on it and stuff, ne? But don't you think as a people, you know, Guti, we have warriors and stuff.
Yes,
we have some opponents. Sometimes we have to get them, irritate them because they also irritate us. Or do you think we should just ignore them altogether and not engage them?
Okay. I don't think you should ignore them, ne? I just think if you know you don't have enough information to substantively argue against this person, don't waste time. Yabo. And that's my problem. I don't have a problem with addressing them with truth. But the people who are taking me, they're taking me so that I could fight with these guys. And I can't do that.
Oh, yeah,
I cannot be
okay.
fighting with these people. Yes, my job is to give you guys tools. Here, right now, as I was speaking, those are tools I'm giving. So someone wants to go and argue now, must take what I'm saying, note it down, go and confirm it, and then you can argue against these people. We know they are doing misinformation and lying about us and all that. You understand? It's good to fight with them. But I can't fight with them and still try and uplift my people at the same time. But by hosting the lives, I'm hoping that they will come and join. I'm really hoping they will, but they never do. They never come and join, which is unfortunate because if they truly believed in what they are saying, they would want to challenge someone like me, Mos, isn't it? Someone like Turwa Kauseb. But they don't.
True. And I get to the point, and mostly where I get you, Guti, we should not use you as some dog or some bulldog or something. Guti, I know someone must go and fight with someone.
Yeah,
Us as a people, we should learn. We should be the ones learning so that when we find misinformation, we tackle misinformation. Not to things of putwam.
I'm not gonna do that.
I get what you're saying. Thank you. I'm about to go. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. I hear you, Unkosi. I will look into that. Thank you, my brother. I just want to see what I have to address before I drop, because I'm going to drop now. Yeah, but guys, remember, sometimes some of the questions, I've been addressing them. I've got many videos on YouTube. Please go to YouTube, Sanle Tukani. You'll find my stuff there. Watch, enjoy. You can also take the videos and cut them into pieces if you have to, and use them as long as I can see that it's me there. Bro, ngenye imini ngicacisa ngalantaka i-Southern Ground Hornbill unditouch. I've spoken about Southern Ground Hornbill. I will answer your message. I saw it on my inbox. Okay, now I have to go, guys. There's a meeting I have to attend to. If you need me, guys, just inbox me. I'm available via inbox if you need anything. Those who want to join my program, the 6-month program, also inbox me. Otherwise, I'll see you guys at 7 tonight. I want to be going live at 7. I will be sharing. You see, those people who are eating humans and dogs there in West Africa, I'm still going to continue exposing it. TikTok can come for me if they want. I'm still going to continue exposing. Because now people are, hey, our sisters. But that's for later today. There's a question I want to answer. Yintsati. Chief Yintsati was a Gauchaub of the Inkwa Hase people. So the Inkwa Hase people are, it's a group of Tram, Gwashu, Ngahwane, Sukwini, Sitatu. All those people you call Sukwini, Sitatu. The Zaharas, the Siakolisis, the Miriam Makebas, the Lucanyo M's. All those people were from a nation known as Inkwa Hase. They were integrated forcefully after hiding Umgwali from Umdange in the 50s. In the 1750s, Umgwali ran to Inzati's palace. It was somewhere in Kraydog, between Kraydog and Graf Reinet. He went to Inzati's palace. Inzati hid him from Umdange. They were fighting. So Umdange went and conquered both Umgwali no Inzati. So the people of Inzati became Amakos. There are people like Amakwama, the Tram descendants, Amagwashu, Siakolisi and Miriam Makeba, people like Ostatu, like Zahara, people like Amangahwani, Amakhenebe, like yeah. But later, guys, bye bye. Shiria Denga. I'll check it out. I'm gone.